how are your kids are going to be an asset to me if I was dating you?
I would never date a man that ever asked me no craziness like that.
See,
I would never,
but that's
because
the
you would
problem.
never ask me how my kids would be an asset to you.
That's the thing.
That's insanity.
But see, I'm coming from a logical standpoint. You
I
have
don't
to ask
think
those questions.
any woman
And let me say one more
is
thing.
going to let you say, how can your kids be an... No, sweetie, no.
Yeah, simply put. Just want to impart a little bit of wisdom on you guys today. Yo, go ahead on and like, share, subscribe to my channel. Leave in the comments in the comment section below. Your comments would be greatly appreciated. Today, I want to talk about the topic of dating single mothers. This kind of has been a topic of discussion, and I've seen a couple things kind of pop up, and I kind of wanted to talk about this discussion of dating single mothers. Before I go on, everyone has their preferences. If you are a man and you are in a situation to where you don't mind dating a single mother, or you're in a situation to where you only want to date women who do not have any kids, or you a woman in those same situations, you only want to date a man who doesn't have kids, or you don't mind dating a man who has kids. It's solely up to you and pretty much what you want to deal with. But we have a thing kind of going on. It's kind of been an issue, especially with single mothers. They try to demonize men for saying they do not want to date a single mother. They try to make, try to shame men for saying they they don't want to date a woman with kids, and they don't want to deal with those particular hassles. And you hear a whole lot of single mothers. They try to demonize men and try to talk bad about them and look down on them. It's all about your preference, and a lot of times the modern single woman, she wants to be in the position of control, and she already has a kid, and then you get a guy who comes around and he said he doesn't want to date you because you have a kid. They feel like that's not fair. But at the end of the day, a lot of times modern women, they'll have their ideas of what they want. They'll have their requirements of the things that they want. But if a man has his requirements saying, well, I'd rather deal with a woman who doesn't have kids, they kind of get upset because they're not in the advantageous situation. Myself personally, I dated one woman who had a kid. She had a young daughter. And most of the other women that I dated were women who did not have kids. And it is a different situation when you're dating a woman who has kids, because you have to be mindful of her dealings with her kids. You have to be mindful of time. Her time is kind of split between you and the kid, and she has to worry about babysitters. She has to worry about all these other things, and she's always going to look after her kid before she looks after you. She's always going to have her kid in mind ahead of you, and that's kind of one thing that men kind of understand. We kind of understand. And I also have dated women who didn't have any kids, and we can kind of go as we please. We could kind of do, if we want to pick up and go out of town and we want to do something, we could do it. And there was no issue at all. From my vantage point, it is better to date a woman who doesn't have kids, because just for that simple fact, you're a little freer to do what you want. And then if you want to be in a long-term relationship, you can get with that woman. If you want to get married to that woman, you can have kids. You can have kids of your own, and you can raise those kids the way you want to raise them. But when you're dealing with a single mother, you have to deal with other people's personalities.
Your boy. Should I say our boy? Yeah, ain't not shit. That's my motherfucking son.
World Star.
That's my motherfucking. You don't got no business. Hey, barbershop. I told you that. I told you that shit. 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 It's your first time.
Hey, let me go ahead, call this mama real quick, and we gonna get to the bottom of it.
All right, you go ahead and you do that. And she better say the right shit, because if she don't, I'm about to get you swinging in this. On God. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
The kid's father upset with the stepfather. He's kind of wilding out. He's kind of doing a whole bunch of extra. He's he's overly emotional because that's his kid, and they're in a situation to where that kid, that was his first time at a barbershop, and the father wanted to take his kid, and the stepdad took him, and he was upset. But I don't know the exact situation, but just looking at it and kind of stepping back and thinking about it, how did the father know that the kid was getting his haircut? How did the father know that? Was he just so happened to be at the barbershop or whatever? More than likely the woman, let him know that the stepfather was taking him and X, Y, and Z, and it kind of got him upset. She's kind of in a controlling situation.
Yo. Ass not answering the phone, huh? Ass probably well, I thought ass.
Hey, bro.
Man.
Like I told you,
Hey, watch
get him out your son.
That's not your motherfucking son. That's my motherfucking son. This is want to be Russell Wilson so motherfucking bad. This is want to be Russell Wilson so bad. Well, you don't even got the Sierra.
Hey, bro, you going too damn. Hey, bro.
I need all this little plate.
Hey, she said ass in the phone, huh?
Hey, bro. All right. I'm really showing you. You're going too damn.
She got control of the baby father's emotions. She did something to get him upset. She has control over the stepfather because she told him to go take the kid to the barbershop. And she's in a controlling situation. A lot of times women, these modern women, they want to be in the control. She's not even in there. There's chaos and there's a whole lot of stuff going on. And she's pretty much controlling. And the guy in the video, the father in the video, he thought he was so tough, but she's controlling his emotions. She's making him upset. If he would have done something, he might have got arrested, put him in a bad situation. And the stepfather, he's in a bad situation. He's pretty much trying to defend himself. The guy all in his face like he want to fight, and he's trying not to fight. He just taking the kid to the barbershop. And it made a whole issue. And women act like that this stuff doesn't happen. Maybe not to this particular extent, but this particular man was in a bad situation. If you care about somebody, if you really love someone, you would try to prevent them from being in bad situations like that. And the woman, she didn't even care.
Hey, like I said, watch your mouth for the time.
Ain't your motherfucking son.
Hold on. Hey, Keisha.
Keisha.
Hey, Keisha. Hey, she up here trying to take Sean with him.
Let me get a little closer.
What?
You ain't taking her nowhere until you pay your child support.
What? Child support? That little bitty ass shit. I can pay that shit right now on God.
Do it then.
Fine, slap shit out your ass.
Do it.
Women say that they don't like poly relationships, but this is a particular example of a poly relationship. The woman, she has the stepfather. She got two men kind of on the string that she's kind of controlling. She's controlling these two men. She got the stepfather who's doing what she said, taking the kid on errands and taking care of her kid, who is not his kid. He's paying the bills at home. He's doing things in the house. He's taking care of her kid's father. He paying child support. She can kind of have control over him. She controls when he sees his kid and all of that stuff like that. She got two different men serving purpose for her, and she's in a controlling situation to where she's getting all her needs met. And a lot of times women, they know they'll be in a advantageous situation. And a lot of times men, we're looking at it, and you look at it from the outside, and you say, well, I don't want to be even placed in that particular situation. I don't want to be placed in a situation to where I can be at home. There's no benefit to me, real benefit. I'm doing the work. I'm putting myself in harm's way. And then you hear single mothers upset at men because they don't want to be in that situation. Now, everybody's different. There are different situations, but for the most part, the man is not going to be in a situation of power and of leadership. It's always going to be that woman. she's going to have control. She's controlling the stepfather. She's controlling the baby daddy. She's controlling both of them.
So you understand what I'm saying? Like, so to say that's what's going on right now, I have to disagree. And I'm disagreeing because I am a modern woman. Okay. And I have modern friends that are single mothers that would completely wholeheartedly disagree with what you're saying.
I get your point, but let me ask you this, Vic. So you don't think that a man that is productive and competitive, taking on a pre-made family, so you telling me that's a good thing? Okay, let me ask you this. How are your kids going to be an asset to me if I was dating you?
I would never date a man that ever asked me no craziness like that.
See,
I would never. Because you would never ask me how my kids would be an asset to you.
That's the thing.
That's insanity.
But see, I'm coming from a logical standpoint. You have to ask those questions.
Any woman,
and let me say one more thing.
It's going to let you say, how can your kids be an... No, sweetie, no.
She's basically agreeing with the man. She's basically in agreement with him. He could have worded it a different way, but he basically said, how are your kids going to be an asset to me? And she basically said, my kids will never be an asset to you. And that's exactly what he was saying. Your kids will never be an asset to him. There's no benefit to him. He's doing all the work. And she can't see it because she's in the position of power. She's in a position of power where this man has come in. He's providing for me. He's providing for my kids who are not his. And I still have my kid's father who is helping out here and there. She's in a poly relationship too. And everything kind of revolves around her. She has all the control. And she was pretty much gaslighting, like she didn't know that can happen, like that can't happen. That happens. That's the whole situation. He cannot chastise your kids. He cannot tell your kids what to do. He cannot discipline your kids the way that he wants to discipline them, like he would discipline his own kids. And that's something that you have to think about if you're dating a woman who already has a kid. There's always some outside forces that have control over the situation. And the woman, she thinks that it's no problem because she's in control of everything. She has control. The man has to go to her, ask her permission about her kids. He can't discipline. He has to go to her. Everything revolves around her, but she has really no real responsibilities. She has none of the major responsibilities because the stepdad is paying. The stepdad is controlling the bills in the house. And also the kid's father, he has to ask permission. He has to get permission from her to see the kids and have the routine. And she's in that situation. It's a poly situation.
Very, very far. And I'm going to say that as a single mother myself, that a lot of men cannot even sit at the table with me if I'm being honest, and I still give them a seat. I still push the seat open for them to sit down and show me what they can bring to the table for me, because I know intellectually, I know financially, I know on a thousand different levels, they don't even meet me halfway. So when you make a statement like that, again, like I said, I'm a single mother. I'm a modern woman. I have so many friends across, not just in Florida, this is not Miami. I'm talking about friends, period. And they're single mothers, but they bring a lot to the table. And for a man to ever ask me what my kids could do to benefit him, he would never even speak to me again.
She pretty much showed her true colors and got upset and was talking about men are beneath her and all of this stuff. She pretty much showed herself. She's a controlling person. She's a modern woman. She's controlling, and she wants to shame him into taking on those responsibilities. And the guy, he did a pretty good job. He was just thinking of things in a logical way. And he was just basically saying, you know good and well, you want a man to come in and step up and take care of the family, take care of the households, take care of you, take care of your own kids, take care of all of y'all. And he really doesn't get the respect of being the biological father. He's never gonna get that respect. He's never gonna get the benefits, as far as him being the biological father. And he's kind of he's an outsider. He's just benefiting her. And she act like she just can't believe that happens. That happens all the time. If you want to put yourself in that situation, if you meet somebody and you want to be with that person and y'all handle things, there's nothing wrong with that. But for you to kind of demonize a man or try to shame a man for saying, I don't want to put myself in that situation, that's wrong. Modern women are talking and they try to shame you into doing something, just like with you got to pay all this money on the first date, you got to do this and you got to be that. At the end of the day, it's your decision and it's your choice. So when you hear women like this talking and loud and trying to shame you and try to make you feel bad, at the end of the day, it's your choice. And for the most part, you have to protect yourself. As men, you have to protect yourself. You have to think about what's best for you. You have to be willing to walk away from some people, because everybody doesn't have your interest at heart. And one thing about modern women, they're gonna look out for themselves. And she was trying to shame him because she wants to look out for herself.
I never said I would expect a man to come in and share his not share his finances. I never said that.
That's his resources.
Okay, if that's all the resources he has, that's problem number one. We're gonna start. No, that's definitely problem
That's
number
his
one.
resources.
That's not enough for me. So again, it's not, because I have my own money. So when you start talking about modern women, and you're sitting in front of a woman that makes well over 6 figures a year, you're not gonna tell me that a man can step through that door and tell me, what can your kids do for me?
She wants to be in a relationship. She wants a man to come in and she wants him to step up. She wants him to be a 6-figure earner, and she wants that man to take care of the responsibility of the home without him having any authority at all. And she act like, oh my God, it's a shame that you come across these people. You're that person. She just showed in the clip earlier that's her. She'll get her feistiness and the way that her demeanor was. She's showing that she's that kind of person. She's thinking about herself. She wants to put herself in the position of control over everything. And she act like that can never happen. Come on. Be real, be reasonable. But at the end of the day, men, you have a responsibility to yourself. Now, if you choose someone who doesn't have kids and you procreate with them and you marry that woman, you have that responsibility. And you need to step up and you need to take care of that responsibility. But if you get with a woman and she has kids and you feel like you don't want to deal with that and you don't want to deal with the outside things, you may care about that person, but you may not want to deal with the outside things. You don't have to. If it's your choice, it's your choice. At the end of the day, you choose what you want to do. You have a choice. You have a say in your life. And a lot of these modern women, they made decisions that put them in a certain place. You know what I say? I say leave them in the dust, especially if they have a bad attitude.
Make 6 figures or not, you would still want a man to come through there to take over the finances, to take that burden off your shoulders. Don't give it to Vic. Every woman wants that. So when I hear women say that they're not looking for a man to share their resources, that is cap. Let me finish making another point.
No,
This is another risk. Listen, Ralph, let me make this one final point. This is another risk of a man that is competitive and productive, that's getting into a situation where he's dealing with a pre-made family. Who is to say, if I was to marry you and you divorced me, you would go to the courthouse and put me on child support for the next 18 years for kids that don't even belong to me. And matter of fact, even if I'm not married to you, if I've been dating you for a substantial amount of time, depending on what the state, you can still go and put me on child support for 18 years for kids that are not mine. So to close it off, a man a productive man that's dating a single modern baby mom in this generation, that's a lose-lose situation. And I'm gonna end it like that.
I don't have much I don't have much to add. The only thing I could say is I hate that has been your experience. I hate that those are the women that you have encountered one way or another,
No, I'm
not
speaking in
personally.
general.
But a lot of these women, they want you to come in, they want you to bail them out of a situation. And it's not a good deal for men, and men are looking at it on the outside saying, well, that's not a good deal. And she's trying to shame you to make you come in and do that. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. Anyway, just want to impart a little bit of wisdom on you guys today. Yo, go ahead on the like, share, subscribe to my channel. Leave in the comments in the comment section below. Your comments will be greatly appreciated. And like I always say, love you guys millions, and I'll talk to you later. Global.